don't be writing checks that cause a tax increase beyond the budget. So I've had 4 years on appropriations. That experience will help, and I think that we can bring that sort of focus. Let me tell you, sometimes when you're looking at this budget, whether it's federal or state, it's a matter, does South Texas get X? Does North Texas get Y? And it's important that we bring things back here too. So that's concept one. Now let's talk about the second concept. What are some ideas to bring money in? One is the cruise industry. Why do we always talk about cruise industry in Florida? Cruise ships. The coastal bend is great.
Yeah, why don't we have one?
I mean, we should be, look what's happening, unfortunately with Hurricane Ike, but prior to Ike, you had cruise ships in Galveston. They started with 500 and 600 passenger cruise ships. There were up to 3,000 passenger cruise ships. Houston saw a great opportunity. They started building a cruise ship terminal. Now here, look at our great area, Coastal Bend. We can go into Austin, San Antonio. We've got northern Mexico and all of the valley. We have a huge area that we can draw from. We should have cruise ships leaving out of our area, be it in Port Aransas, Corpus Christi, Ingleside. Any of these areas, we have a great opportunity. And one thing I'm going to pledge to do as the next state representative is to do everything I can to bring that cruise industry, because they will pay revenues, they will pay fees that go into the state budget. Look at the jobs and the development that always occurs to the areas where they place their facilities. So it's an idea. I'm going to push it. In fact, a few years ago, I was talked to by a state agency because they wanted to know more about the cruise industry and how Texas could benefit. So I've got some experience there. But I wanted to give you an idea of how to be fiscally responsible so that people are not punished with taxes, and an idea on how to bring some money to Texas.
Now, when you talk about the cruise ship idea, because I think a lot of people might be interested in that, because I know that it's been successful for Galveston, other than, you know, those people are in our prayers there because of Hurricane Ike, and you don't wish ill on anyone, but we really dodged a bullet on that. So what we're talking about is bringing that cruise ship idea here. Now people say, well, that's kind of abstract. How do you, what kind of coordination do you need between the local people and the Port Commission and all that, and the government in Austin, the state government? How do you bring those two together?
Well, I think you will be able to bring all these folks together. I think that we need somebody at the state level like myself who understands the issue and who's worked on it to work with our local communities. I've never heard an objection. I've heard maybe certain size of cruise ships can only go here or there. But we have a great local community here, and we have local government officials that I think we could coordinate work with and use it kind of as a unified effort to bring the cruise industry. We did it with Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Remember we had the CC4U, the whole group that brought in Texas A&M. We can do it as a community, and here's a positive where we can get the local groups with us, and we can get some of the state agencies going to the cruise folks over here in Florida or wherever they are and saying, come down here to South Texas. And I want to do it before some place like the Valley, northern Mexico starts doing it, because that would take away.
That's true.
So maybe we better not put that portion in. We don't want to give any ideas to
I
the
don't
folks down
know.
south.
Yeah, we might try to edit that out. But actually, no, seriously, I think that's a good concrete idea. We've got a few minutes left in this segment. When we come back, we're going to be talking more about your race in general and the issues involved in that. I know that it's always, you know, with these, I don't know how you guys take the pressure. The representatives, every 2 years you've got to run, so it seems like before you know it, you're having a campaign again.
That's
plus
correct.
Have your hands full with your constituents and everything. It's a high-pressure job. But with the last few minutes left in this segment, I want to ask you a question on, we've talked about education, we've talked about business. I want to talk a little bit about health care.
Sure.
And what's happening with the CHIPS program and what's happening with our elderly and your take on it. I know a lot of health care is federally funded, but Medicaid also is affected, you know, the state funded, federally supplemented sort of deal. So I wanted you to kind of expound upon what would you do to help the children and the elderly here in our areas?
Well, first of all, the CHIPS program, I look at that as a South Texas benefit. I mean, CHIPS helps South Texas. And we as South Texans need to stand up and support the CHIPS program. As you and I know, many times people try to water it down or not develop it up. That is a program for our area, and that's a program that can help our area. So we need to stand up for that. I was there when it was very early developed, but it is very, very important for our area. So yes, I would support that. Two, Medicaid and the elderly. Let's talk about senior. You know, right now we're all growing older, and I had a great opportunity to speak at a, we'll just say, a healthcare facility the other day, and they had some great ideas. And one of the questions was, how do we do a better job as a state representative or a state official to integrate the elderly into programs and take care of them rather than just do institutionalization?
Yes.
And you know, we're all going to be parents and grandparents, or we're going to be older. We're going to fit into one of those categories. We need to have a society, and we need Texas to be what I call elderly friendly. And I think a lot of times we just kind of go down the road and we don't think about our folks, our grandfolks, and ourselves. But we need to have laws that help. We need to have laws that are not barriers. And we also have to have people, and I think my seniority helps, to stand up to bring the message across. So the second point that you've made is, let's do things where we're involving rather than just doing an institutionalization. The Medicaid, we need to be standing up harder for. You know, our area needs to be very supportive, which we are, but we need leadership from our area to continue to fight for our area and be all of us on a unified page. And you know, the great thing about that, it's not a political party there. It's not a Republican, Democrat, Independent, Libertarian issue. Again, we go back, that's our issue, that's a South Texas issue, and it's a positive.
Well, thank you. And you've been listening to South Texas Crossfire. It's Todd Hunter, former state rep, 36, and then it turned into 32. And now he's running again, asking for your vote in District 32. We also have had on his opponent, and I'd like to take the opportunity to thank all the candidates for coming on, and also for our sponsors. First and foremost, our sponsor, Top Gun Paint and Body, there, Johnny Gaskin, he's doing a great job out there. Impact Credit Group USA, Tommy Holbein, great family. His great-great-grandfather was the first mayor of Corpus Christi. Way to go, Tommy. And we're going to do some hunting together here pretty soon. My good friend Tommy Holbein. And let's not forget about Rhodes Vela, Phil Vela and Tom Rhodes, great attorneys. They're also helping sponsor this show. Not to mention my good buddy, we miss you out there, Juan Reyna, come back and interview some of these people. Help me out. We need the work. But he's been really busy with his law practice, so I want to thank him also for all his help. And thanks Carlos and the Lopez family. When we come back, we're going to be taking a really close political analysis, not only of Republican and Democrat Party, but the dynamics that are happening here in South Texas, where we're having voter crossover because of the presidential elections. A lot of people just are undecided. We've got a lot of independents. We've got a lot of people out there that are saying, I'm just not going to vote Democrat or Republican. I'm going to vote my mind and my heart. So when we come back, we're going to get into that with Todd Hunter, candidate for District 32, right here in South Texas, when we come back.